We do have to tell you up front, we will just say it once and we'll leave it at that the reigning world champion, Dexter Patterson, does start this one on pole position, but is racing under appeal. He starts on the left of your screen, 301. He is racing under appeal, so the championship will unlikely be decided at that. We will just concentrate on the race and we'll leave that alone. We know Dexter and the Forza Racing team want to leave that aside. There's still a race to be won here. We'll leave the final result of the title for others to decide at a later point. Dexter, the reigning world champion in 301 on the left of your screen, alongside Mr. Thompson. That's Harry, looking to punch his way into the lead. Starting on the outside of the front row of the grid. That's the British teams, Forza Racing and Ricky Flynn Motorsport. And I use that term punch intentionally. His younger brother, Tommy Thompson, forging a successful boxing career. In fact, his father, Chris, actually flew home last Friday night, to see Tommy, just 10 years of age, as you look at the reigning world champion, Dexter Patterson, on screen. To see Tommy win a bout in London, forging a successful career as a young boxer. Harry Thompson, a successful career as a racing driver. Third in the World Championship. Second in the European Championship. And wants to win the WSK Final Cup. Recently signed by Red Bull. And already with one eye towards 2018. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport team driver on the outside of the front row of the grid. That is Alexei Brijan from outside of Sochi in southern Russia. You can see the Russian flag on his helmet. Now calls Vienna in Austria home, but is proudly Russian. Starts this one out of grid 3 for the team baby race. 3-1-0 for Alexei. That is Evan Mallet from Montpellier in France for the 2016 World Championship winning VDK racing team. Of course, they won that title, the race in Bahrain with Victor Martins. Evan Mallet in the Perilla-powered Cosmic, 353. That is the Czech Roman Stanek, 308, out of grid number 5. Has been knocking on the door and looking to take a win here this afternoon. In the foreground, you just got a glimpse of the legendary Alessandro Manetti, two-time world champion in 1991 and 1994. He is here this weekend, as ever, with his boy, little Luca Bosco, in the 3-1-1 baby race. There is Alessandro, one of the finest kart racing drivers of all time. Mentor, coach, mechanic for Luca, starting out of grid number 6. Hugo Sass on screen, the German in the 351 Zanardi kart. Out of grid number 7, has been impressive. And speaking of Germans, there is a link here. That's the Italian Pietro Deleguanti, but he is driving for the KSM Schumacher racing team here this weekend. 307 starts out of grid number 8. 374 is Gabriel Mini, the fastest qualifier in the Paralin. He has been superb this weekend, but didn't have the best run in the pre-final. Has been super quick. Fastest in the warm-up, fastest all weekend. Starts out of grid number 9. Alongside the reigning European champion, Johnny, the Englishman Edgar. Hello to everyone watching in Johnny's home. Back home circuit of Rowra, the Lakes District in Northern England. The Forza Racing team pilot, 302. Starts on the 5th row of the grid. Bastian Bus for RS competition. The Dane, very impressive has the RS competition karts been. Starts out of grid number 11 alongside the Estonian Paul Aron for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. There is Paul, younger brother of former Italian F4 champion Ralph Aron. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport machine, 3 times RFM have won the World Championship. They missed out on the title this year, but they will be back in 2018. Eduardo Villa, how good is it to see the Tibi kart back on the world scene? 21 years of manufacturing for the brilliantly turned out Tibi kart. Eduardo Villa, Perilla powered, 382 on the 7th row of the grid, alongside Francesco Pizzi for Fusion Motorsport, the British teams here in force. Ricky Flynn Motorsport, Forza Racing, Fusion Motorsport, also Piers Sexton Racing. Francesco, the Italian, the Vortex-powered Esprit. That That is Leonardo Bertini-Cola, has been impressive. Had a couple of incidents in the heats, but has had tremendous speed in the 329 CRG Road Rebel. Starting on the 8th row of the grid alongside Maya Veg. Now she is the reigning champion in the WSK Final Cup. She won this race 12 months ago. That was in 60cc Mini. She stepped up to juniors, second race with the Sicilian Luxor kart team, powered by the LKE engine, and she has been superb. She starts this one out of grid number 16. Remember, we started with 60 junior drivers here this weekend. Alex Catalis, the Greek, Japanese, Singaporean driver, also with Forza Racing. Starts on the 9th row of the grid, alongside Giuseppe Fusco, the driver from Naples, who is a former champion of the Final Cup. He won the mini title way back in 2013, when KFJ was won by Robert Schwartzman and Callum Eilert won KF. Seems like a lifetime ago. There is Alex Catalis. We say hi to his parents, Velos and Akiko, back home in Singapore. The Greek, Japanese, Singaporean driver. Alex has done plenty of laps around the KF1 circuit over on the equator. There is Giuseppe Fusco. Don't mind the Lenzo Kart race suit. It's a Formula K chassis for Giuseppe this weekend. Didn't set a time in qualifying, has had to come charging up through the heats. Starts this one out of grid number 18. On grid number 19, the mighty Moroccan Suleiman Zanfari for Team Lotus. The team run by the legendary Frankie Aruncic, former F2 driver with Surtees back in the 1970s. And Suleiman has come on leaps and bounds, starting out of grid number 19 alongside Dino Boganovic. We also keep one eye out on Luigi Coluccio. Incredibly, he starts this one out of grid number 21. 7 days ago, he started out of grid number 22 and charged through the field to finish second. Can history repeat? Well, we know his parents, Sasa and Laura, watching on from back home in southern Italy. They're certainly hoping that the Birla junior team driver, Luigi, can do that. The 3-minute board goes up. Luigi starting alongside the first of the Brazilians. Take a brief opportunity to say commiserations to Gabriel Bortoleto, who lost a chain in the final and subsequently does not line up in the final. The boy from Brazil, o menino do Brasil, Kiko Porto, in the 325 RFM kart, starts alongside Luigi. Back on grid number 22 as the grid girls prepare to leave the circuit on an overcast day here at Adria Raceway. One of the finest motorsport complexes in Europe, host venue of the WSK Final Cup for the 4th time, having come here for the first event at the end of 2014. You can just see the pits of the car racing circuit in the background. Hosted the TCR Europe Cup, Italian F4 Championship. It's also launching the NASCAR European NASCAR Series display here this weekend. Plenty of hot laps going on in various supercars over the course of the weekend. Even some boxing matches here. The Italian Boxing Championships. There's always something on here at Adria International Raceway. This is the final race for 2017, the final cup for the juniors. The Brits on the front row of the grid. There will be 2 formation laps. As it stands, Alexei Brijan, the Russian, leads the title coming into this second round from Patterson and Thompson. 90 to 81 and 75 points respectively. We'll bring you up to date with that. Unfortunately, Victor Gustafsson, who dominated the last week, does not start the final after being caught up in an accident with Zane Maloney and Kirill Small. Bad luck for the Swede, has to watch this one from the sidelines. Certainly no fault of his own. As we look at the grid, the reigning world champion, Patterson, on pole, then it's Thompson alongside. Brijan, Malay, Stanek, Bosco, Hugo Sass, Pietro Deliguanti, Gabriel Mini, and the reigning European champion, Johnny Edgar. Bastian Bus, Paul Aron, Eduardo Villa, Francesco Pizzi, Leonardo Bertini, Cola, Maya Berg, Alex Catalyst, Giuseppe Fusco, Suleiman Zanfari, and the Swede Dino Boganovic. 11th row of the grid is Luigi Coluccio with Kiko Porto, Dmitry Novozolyov, Frederick Kickenberg, Kasper Johnson, Miguel Hoyard, Ji Huang from the Red One circuit over there in Beijing. Great to have you watching us live to all our Chinese fans on the other side of the world. Ji Huang starts on the 14th row of the grid alongside Federico Albanese. Alex Simmons, the Brit, Matthias Torreggiani, the brilliant Brit, Bray Keneally for Piers Sexton Racing alongside Nicolo Kuhlmann, Zach O'Sullivan and Nicole Borda, the American, on the final row of the grid. 16 laps, just over 20 kilometres. One lap of Adria is 1,302 metres, 10 metre width. Pretty quick circuit, an average speed around about 94 kilometres an hour for these junior drivers. Stand by, we are ready to race for the final time in 2017. It will be the reigning world champion, the wee lad from Glasgow in Scotland, Dexter Patterson, to lead the field up to the start. Mr. Thompson on the outside of the front row, and we go green. Brilliant start by Brijan, immediately slots into second spot. Then it's the Czech Roman Stanek, Thompson back to fourth. From the outside of the front row, Patterson leads the first lap of this 16-lap final here at Adria. A relatively clean start as the field gingerly make their way through. Kasper Jansen, the Swede, going wide. Award Racing team pilot, but all 34 drivers will come round to complete the first lap. There is Patterson from Brijan. Thompson having to defend in a third spot as Stanek has a look at the back of Brijan. Hugo Sass, the German, in the Zanardi kart in P5, shadowing Harry Thompson. We check the order for you as they come across the line. It's Patterson, Brijan, Stanek, Thompson, Sass, Bosco, P6. And it's Deliguanti, Gabriel Mini, Paul Aron, Giuseppe Fusco rounds out the 10. Brijan leads the championship at this point, runs in second spot behind Patterson, the Forza Racing team pilot. Didn't have a good run last weekend, only finishing in 14th spot. Still on a high after becoming the first ever Scottish World Kart Racing champion in nearly 6 decades of the sport, as Stanek goes down the inside and puts the Russian Alexei Brijan back into P3. They need to move on and do something about Patterson, because he will walk away with this if they are not careful. Watch Thompson in P4. He's got the speed, no doubt, here this weekend. He'll be on the tail of the leaders before this lap is out, before the next few corners are out, as Stanek goes down the inside. The Czech Roman Stanek leads the second lap of the final. Patterson back to third, recovers for second. Brijan has lost out big time. Bosco's also getting involved in this. The two baby race teammates go side by side into the Vegas sweeper. Then it's Pietro Deliguanti, the Italian in the Tony kart, is also there. Roman Stanek, what a lead from the Czech. Patterson is in second, but the freight train is breathing down his neck. The baby race drivers lose a ton of time out of the hairpin that time. Here comes Harry Thompson up the inside, takes the reigning world champion Patterson back to P3. Hugo Sass, the German, in the Zanardi goes fourth. Patterson fights back the two Brits side by side, they touch. Oh, they're both out. Can you believe it? Thompson is out. Patterson, the reigning world champion, is out. The two Brits, no love lost between them. Thompson is attempting to restart. and he does so at the very back of the field. Patterson walks away despondently. The reigning world champion is out. Stanek with an enormous lead after 4 laps to Hugo Sass, the German, who inherits second spot. Pietro Deliguanti in third, Luca Bosco in fourth. Gabriel Mini, there is the Italian with the white helmet in the Paralympic 374. P5, Pizzi, then it's Brijan. Fusco, Majevec, she's in ninth, and Bastian Bus, the Dane, runs out the 10. The first of the Forza Racing Team drivers is now Johnny Edgar, who's in 11th, and from grid number 21 up into 11th, Luigi Col